Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. We talk every single Big Ten football team. I'm JR, and today we're going to be going through each Big Ten team and covering one thing we have learned about every single Big Ten team, whether they've played a big game or not, talking about what we've learned, one thing that we know is a fact about each team 2 weeks into the season. And here to talk with me about it all is the guy who would never run out of fireworks. He would always be prepared. It's Zack Guggenheim.
Did someone run out of fireworks? I'm assuming so.
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Minnesota ran out of fireworks. They scored too many points.
This,
sorry on their video board. It was the most Midwestern thing ever.
Well, that runs parallel to the reality that they don't pay their coaches. They clearly don't pay for their fireworks either.
Wow. Yeah, Minnesota's out here scoring 66 points, and you're taking shots at them.
Listen, hey, no, I have them sixth in my power rankings. I'm just saying, pay your coaches and also maybe stay stocked with your fireworks.
Gosh. All right, okay. Minnesota fans, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not gonna rain on your parade here. But
I have them sixth.
You just rained on their parade. I opened with a fun story about how Minnesota scored more points. And you're like, wow, if only they paid enough money for their coaches. Maybe I'd laugh.
Fireworks.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the chat and see who we have here. Philip says, why is Notre Dame ranked ahead of Illinois? Makes no sense. Well, Philip, it's probably the same reason why South Carolina is ranked, what are they, 11th or something? I forget what I saw out of the AP poll. They're ranked, but of course, Vanderbilt, who just destroyed Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech, is not ranked. It's because we have the AP poll, and the AP poll is filled with a bunch of people who don't actually know what they're voting on, and they're too arrogant to change what they actually just voted on. For me, personally, in my top 25, I will be putting Vanderbilt exactly where I had South Carolina.
That's a good move, which I hate because we've been kind of making fun of Diego Pavia all summer. But
well, you know what? If you earn it, I will give it to you. Yes.
Is it? Speaking of earning, I think I have earned this title from Philip, Lieutenant Dream Crusher. I think I've earned it.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah. With the AP poll out, and we'll drop ours tomorrow. Tomorrow, are we going live for that tomorrow night? Sorry, we're discussing details. Okay, so Tuesday morning for the podcast listeners, and also I think Tuesday morning for you all watching
on YouTube as well.
Yeah. We will not have 11 SEC teams in our top 25 like the AP poll does, while excluding teams like Nebraska and USC and Minnesota.
I don't understand how USC is not ranked.
I don't either. Well, and
they're nearly top 10 for me and you.
Yeah, it's insane.
You want to know what's even more insane? 2 people voted for Illinois to be 15th and 17th in the AP poll.
We need to find them and shame them until they no longer can vote. No, we probably should.
Pete Yannity. Tell me if you ever heard that name before. Pete Yannity, from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Okay, it makes sense now. He had them completely unranked, Illinois, last week.
Are we sure that's just not Paul Feinbaum with a pseudonym?
No, it does not look like Paul
Feinbaum. What's the name?
I guess it could be AI generated,
like a ghostwriter. I forget that. Pseudonym is that's a similar word. It's Paul Feinbaum. That's all I'm gonna say.
Must be. It must be.
It's a burner name. That's where we're going with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least the majority of people had them in the top 10. But that's how it happens. You have guys like Brett McMurphy and Reese Davis voting for Illinois to be 14th. Meanwhile, Notre Dame is voted by some people to be like, I don't even know. Let me go check how high they got up for. This is wonderful podcasting. Oh, hold on for a second. Let me check.
Can I just?
You have Greg Madia and John Johnson voting Notre Dame to be 6th in the AP poll.
Yeah, not right. Not right.
Where does Reese Davis have them?
Reese Davis, at least I can understand. Oh wait, he has Notre Dame 7th.
And Brett McMurphy has them 9th. Who in the world does Reese Davis have in his poll? Reese Davis has LSU above Ohio State. That's why.
Well, I mean, we can explain it because he's an ESPN company man.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
South
so we
Florida
shouldn't be
is
surprised.
Ranked above Illinois. Yeah, South Florida ranked above Illinois. Anyway, let's say hello to the people.
We'll get that to the top 25. Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say we've got Mike, friend of the show. What's up, boys? Get ready for a ranked Minnesota squad coming into the shoe after the Gophers take care of Cal and Rutgers in proper fashion. With the way these voters are going, Mike, it might take an upset over Ohio State for Minnesota to get ranked. Not because we won't rank them, but because the media just does not want to recognize the Gophers. It's insane. It's insane. See, I can be nice to Minnesota, by the way. They should be ranked.
They didn't even get a single vote, I don't think.
That's insane.
Yeah, not a single vote. Yeah, crazy.
Also, Sean is bailing me out here. Alias. There we go. That's the word. Sean, you're the man. Thank you for covering up my my lack of knowledge of the English language. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started with this. So many of you came into the comments so quickly. We're not able to get to all of you, but we appreciate you being here. We acknowledge that you're here. Go Bucks. Go Gophers. Go. I mean, all the people that are in the chat. Go Rutgers. All the people that are in the chat right now. ILL, INI. Fight on, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all being here. Zach, first off, before we get into it, we do need to get to our Paul Feinbaum tracker. I did eliminate UCLA. Felt like that was time to do that.
As you should.
Yeah. So, sorry, UCLA fans. You have been eliminated from playoff and national championship contention.
You're gonna cross off Northwestern next week too.
Who do they play? Oh, yikes! Yeah, Oregon.
Yeah. That's part of my things that I learned. Yeah, so
okay, all right. Well, we've learned that Zach is ready to cross off Northwestern after just vying for bowl eligibility 3 weeks ago.
I said they're not making the playoff. I didn't say they're not making a bowl.
I know, I'm just messing with.
But they're never mind. Keep going.
So, all right, here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go through every single Big Ten team and give our what we learned about them. For through the first 2 weeks of the season. We're going to go kind of by order of what the biggest games were that happened this weekend, so we can talk about those, and we'll go from there. So I will hold on, let me move this over here. I will have Zach start us off with Illinois. Go for it, Zach.
Yeah, I think the main thing I've learned, and I think we kind of knew this already, but I think it was proven in the Duke game. Luke Altmyer needs to be in the conversation for top quarterback in the Big Ten. Like, he was in command, he evaded pressure, and he was dominant despite the fact that he had very little help from his offensive line and from the run game. And I think because of that, the other thing I learned, I know we just have one, but this is two things. He is going to need to throw to make up for what is a middle-of-the-road run offense if they want to get to where they want to go. But I think he can. Between him and his receivers, that receiving core is better than I expected. I think it might be better than last year. Not because any one player is better than Pat Bryant, but I think the collective whole is better than a year ago, which is saying something because they had a pretty good wide receiver duo in Bryant and Franklin a year ago, but Bowick and Beatty and the rest of that room, they are very, very dynamic, and they were able to overcome a fierce pass rush from Manny Diaz. I thought they did a great job. I thought Altmyer was on point on the road.
Well, and Altmyer learned the blitz pickups as well. After a few drives, I mean, Duke was doing a really good job of being exotic with what they were throwing at him. They had 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, and then they would only bring 3. Sometimes they would only bring 4. Sometimes they would send all 7, and it was really, really confusing for the offensive line there for a little bit. But I think this whole new iPad thing is really just changing college football a whole bunch. It's really starting to allow these offenses to kind of learn, start slower, and then as they learn the defense, they're going to get into it more in the second half. You've always kind of seen that a little bit with college football, but now I think it's enhanced even more with the iPads and the players learning it and that kind of stuff. I will say Luke Altmyer was making NFL throws yesterday against Duke. Now that was not an NFL caliber, talent defense. Like there wasn't a whole lot of NFL guys on that defense, but those were throws over the middle, 15, 20 yards that you're going to have to make in the NFL. And I think Luke Altmyer helped his draft stock a ton on Saturday.
Yeah, I totally agree. Couple comments in the chat, I think relevant to this conversation. Philip, been calling Hank Beatty all season. Philip, your flowers, man. He was great.
All off season, he says. All off
season. Yeah. All off season.
He knew it before it happened.
Yeah. So flowers for you. I think that was a great pick by you off for the season. Also, Philip starting to bang the drum. Altmyer Heisman finalist. I still believe it. I think it's possible. If they beat Ohio State and make it to playoff contention, I think that is very possible. And then Brian Myers will be at that game. He has tickets to the Ohio State at Illinois game. Brian, is there any way that John and I can fit in your suitcase and get in the stadium with you?
Well, I do not approve of smuggling things into the stadium, Zach. I'm not sure what you do in your free time, but do not approve.
We'll have to talk about this off air.
I'm just messing with you. All right.
You shouldn't be messing with me on that, by the way. You should be telling me no.
All right, let's talk Iowa here. So I will be the bearer of bad news. I made a video on it. Pull that comment down if you don't mind.
Oh yes.
I made a video on it the other day, and actually just Saturday night. So you probably saw it Sunday morning if you wanted to. But Mark Gronowski is not an upgrade as a passer for Iowa, at least so far this season. I don't think it will continue the entire season. I don't think he's going to put up Deacon Hill numbers the entire year, but he's not passing any better than Deacon Hill was right now. He's got a better completion percentage, but that's about it. I mean, Deacon Hill was passing for more yards in his first 2 starts than Mark Gronowski has been. Overall, it really just feels like Iowa, they spent $2 million to get a more mobile quarterback, when in reality, that's what they had last year. And Brendan Sullivan, when I was vying all the season to start Brendan Sullivan, and then they finally did, and then they got him hurt because because unfortunately he got hurt. But that's what it is. Iowa has not fixed their quarterback situation, at least not yet. We'll see what happens, but I'm not confident it's going to be fixed because there's no standard at Iowa. There's no standard. There's no standard for what you need to live up to. There's no standard for what was set before you for Kirk Ferentz, and he answered it in that press conference. He just said, just got to get better. Just got to get improved. No, Kirk, if you were 10%, you don't just improve to 20% and be like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good. No. It's better. You have to be better than that. And I'm tired of certain Big Ten teams just being okay with, we just got to improve. That's why I love guys like Curt Cignetti. That's why I love guys like Bert Bielema, because they have a standard and their players have to live up to it. All right? And right now, unfortunately, I don't see that from Iowa right now, and I don't hear it from Kirk Ferentz. Maybe he'll change. If he does, great. But I don't hear it from him right now.
Yeah. Philip is asking, is Gronowski Brian Ferentz's fault? No, it's Kirk Ferentz's fault.
Yeah.
Sean even asked a question about, Deacon Hill, his first 2 starts were significantly harder. Yeah. Not Albany.
Purdue and at Wisconsin.
At Wisconsin, I know that Wisconsin hasn't been great, but
it was
better than Albany.
Wisconsin.
Huh?
It was 2022, Wisconsin.
Yeah. So better.
Or with 2023. I think it was 2023.
It's 2023. Yeah. So like still 5-7. But or no, they were 6-6.
7-6. They were
7-6.
7-6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that was Fickle's first year. Yeah, because it was Chris, and then Fickle did the bowl game that year.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's what I got on Iowa. Any thoughts before we move on to Michigan, Zach?
My thoughts are someone I was tweeting back and forth with somebody about Ferentz, and they're like, yeah, like Ferentz doesn't know how to do offense, but like he wins games with defense and special teams. And I'm like, yes. And that's the problem, because you have the defense and the special teams, but you have decided to never evolve offensively. And because of that, your margins are razor thin. So when you want to actually win a game against a rival, forget a national championship, forget the playoff for a minute. Like, this is a rivalry game. And the reason why they lost is because they are too dang stubborn to figure out that it's like to have some better plays for 3rd and 7.
Well, in reality, you shouldn't be getting a 3rd and 7. You should be able to move the ball.
Well, yeah, but they don't
get into 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 4 at the very worst.
But they don't have a play. They don't have a way. They don't know how to troubleshoot on offense.
Because they don't have the talent to do so. You have a quarterback who, I mean, he obviously is talented. He won the Walter Payton Award at FCS. We just saw Max Brosmer come up to Minnesota last year and be very good for them, and now he's in the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can come up from the FCS and do well, but he also had Daniel Jackson and wide receivers on that team. I know Reese Vandersee is hurt, but do we really feel like Reese Vandersee is going to come in and be some kind of world beater for him? I don't think so.
Yeah, where's the development? Where's the scheming? I think that's the thing. It's scheme and development. And so like Gronowski was supposed to be talented. I mean, I said it before about McNamara. Like, McNamara was not good, but like he was workable at Michigan in 2021, right? And he was non-functional at Iowa. Mark Gronowski was very functional in the FCS. And I know that's FCS, but like he was non-functional against Albany with an Iowa offensive line. It's insane.
Yeah. It's crazy.
So that's my thought.
All right. Well, Zach, go ahead and get to Michigan. Right now, they're plus 1,000 in Big Ten odds to win it all. It's not changed since they lost to Oklahoma, nor would it change because that's an out of conference loss there. But I believe they remain 4th highest in Big Ten odds here on FanDuel. What's your thoughts on Michigan?
So people are piling on Bryce Underwood, and they shouldn't. Like, he's still going to be a special talent. He's a true freshman. True freshman. This is going to be one of my points about Maryland too. So stay with me. He's a true freshman. This is a coaching problem because they did not scheme for their all-world quarterback to run. To me, one of the main differences, there are a couple differences in this game, but one of the big shocking stats, John Mateer ran 17 times for, I think, 74 yards. Bryce Underwood ran 3 times, and I'm pretty sure none of them were designed runs. You want to be a run-first team, and you have a talent that can run as dual threat, and you're not using his legs, and you're going to force Bryce Underwood to drop back 24 or more times against that defense? Like, what were you thinking? So people who are going after Underwood, it's to expect a freshman quarterback to go into that environment and be able to pull out a win is insane. But I think you can certainly blame the coaches for their game plan, especially when Sharon Moore, after the game, it felt like he was insinuating, well, they just have to play better. No, you got to scheme your guys better. So that was my takeaway.
Well, you have to go out and get better players too in the portal. You're bringing in one of the best recruits that your school, if not the best recruit that your school has ever gotten, and you gave him a wide receiver core where Donovan McCulley is the number one receiver. He had a good year at Michigan. 1 year. This should not be the number one wide receiver on a playoff contender team. Yeah. And I'm sorry, right now, Michigan's not a playoff contender to me. Obviously, they still are. They still have the opportunity to get there. But from what I saw against Oklahoma, and it wasn't so much like Bryce Underwood or anything, I thought if Michigan lost that game, Bryce Underwood would have made a huge mistake, and it would have cost them the game. The fact of the matter was, Bryce Underwood wasn't allowed to make a mistake because they never actually did anything for that to happen. Now, he went 9 of 24, 142 yards, but he didn't throw an interception in the game. Yeah. Zack, they're two leading reception guys, the guys with the two most receptions on the team. Donovan McCulley, 3 receptions, 91 yards. Fantastic. He had 9 targets. You know who's next? Justice Haynes, 3 receptions, -5 yards.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
How does this team not have wide receivers? They're talking about wanting to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, and their big play guy from the New Mexico game, Marlon Klein, he's out. He was injured. Yeah. So that was a big blow. But here's the other thing, and PSU Jim makes a really good point. Underwood didn't lose that game. His offensive line did. He had no chance. And that was going to be
my next point. Why did you not go get a left tackle? You had Evan Link, who was a swinging door at right tackle all season. I mean, he got better toward the end of the season, but still, for a good amount of the season last year, he was a swinging door at right tackle. Then you move him to left. Go get a left tackle. You have all this money. Now we've got rumors that the Jolene girl that's married, or the girlfriend of the big rich guy or whatever, she's starting to say, these are all rumors, who knows if it's actually true or not, but there's a rumor out there that she's saying, hey, if Bryce Underwood doesn't start throwing the ball more, I'm not going to pay him. Hey, if Bryce Underwood doesn't start throwing the ball more, then I'm not going to keep donating to the NIL. What happens then?
That's terrible, by the way.
And then you got Bryce Underwood. You got Bryce Underwood fighting with Justice Haynes on the sidelines. I don't blame Bryce Underwood. The kid's 18 years old. He's fiery. He's passionate. I love the fire and the passion. But where's the coaching?
Yeah.
Where's the coaching?
There's coaching is my big
and culture
concern here. Yeah. Which there's a hypothesis. I'll say this and we can move on then. I wonder if the Ohio State and Alabama wins for Michigan a year ago, I think I saw them as signs of progress, but I actually wonder if it was worse for them to win those games than to win. And I know people will call me crazy for that, but in a sense, a win over your rival and a win against Bama, it kind of pacifies people calling for change, and it lets you get away with it. But now it's the same issues from a year ago. It's the exact same issues. They did not address areas of weakness aside from quarterback. The development looks suspect, and their scheme and their play calling was just not good.
Well, it didn't look like they were confident in their players.
Yeah.
It was scheming and play calling that looked like they were afraid to put their players in a position to make a play because they didn't think they could do so.
Yeah. And the defense had its moments, but this was the first time I felt like, oh yeah, they don't have they don't have top 10 picks at the defensive line anymore.
If anything, the point about Ohio State and Alabama last year, I don't know if it's completely true to the entire aspect of everything, because I still think those are wins that give your program momentum and going to the transfer portal. Who knows if you get all those guys if you didn't have the momentum going into the season. But I think the bad part of it is it did make you believe that Wink Martindale is some savant, right? Mm-hmm. That he brought this defense to some crazy place where they're amazing. Mm-hmm. It's not.
Yeah.
You watch that game. Wink Martindale's putting 7 guys on the line of scrimmage when Oklahoma is set up in shotgun with 3 wide. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, but Michigan does not have the secondary to deal with that. No. You cannot put 7 guys on the line of scrimmage, especially in the first half when you don't have Jayshon Barham.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know Wink Martindale can get better, and maybe this is just who Wink Martindale is. But you gonna accept that at Michigan, where he can't scheme for the first half of the season, and then he gets it together in the last 3 or 4 games?
Yeah. Jr. I think he is saying what I think you've been saying for the past year and a half about Sherrone Moore. That he's dudes.
And one of the biggest reasons. Sorry, he said dudes in over his head, and I believe he's talking about Sherrone Moore, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. One of the biggest reasons is because one of the most important things you do as a head coach is you hire the personnel around you, right? Ryan Day struggled with this a lot when he first got, I shouldn't say a lot. He struggled with it at first when he got to Ohio State because he just didn't have the connections of some other people. Now Sherrone Moore is in the same scenario. Sherrone Moore coached in the MAC, and then he became a position coach at Michigan, and then he worked his way up to offensive coordinator. That's great. That's awesome that a guy worked his way up and did that. But you limit your connections. You limit how many people you can go out and hire and who you know and actually going out and get the best candidate. I was listening to a Michigan show today where they were like, how do we have Ron Bellamy and Greg Newsome as position coaches? Well, it's because you have a head coach that doesn't have connections because he's only ever been in the MAC and at Michigan.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd say we should probably move on because we have 15 more teams to go.
Jeez. All right. Well, there is one team that just obliterated the other team, and I'll gladly talk about them for as long as we as long as we can. But first, please do like, subscribe, tell a friend about the show, let people know, share it on social media, share it if you're on Facebook. We're not on Facebook, but you can at least share the stuff over there or Twitter, all those different places. We appreciate it. So, yes, quack, quack, indeed, Darth Ducky. Let's talk about these Oregon Ducks because there was a perception out there that Oregon lost so much talent, and I subscribe to this a little bit, but not fully, right? I mean, I was talking in the offseason that people needed to get Oregon more credit, but there was a thought process out there that Oregon lost too much. They lost Dillon Gabriel, and I think a lot of it started happening when Evan Stewart went down, and that was kind of when it started a little bit more for me as well, because I just didn't know what this wide receiving core would look like. But boy, Zack, does this wide receiver core put the effort in? Do they block? Do they do a fantastic job of supporting one another? It's unselfish. It's an unselfish wide receiver core. DeCorian Moore is blocking a dude all the way down the field. A little bit of questionable, holding, in the first game, but he's blocking a dude all the way down the field. Gary Bryant scores, and who's the guy they're going around and celebrating with? It's DeCorian Moore, because he blocked the dude all the way down the field, so Gary Bryant Jr. could score. I think it's phenomenal. I think that Oregon has one of the best cultures in college football. I think that they are definitely on that scale of a program now where I think there's only 4 or 5 of them in the nation where you can say they do not rebuild, they reload. And I think that's where Oregon is at right now. They act like Ohio State and Georgia, who are those programs in the transfer portal. They recruit at a level like that. And Dan Lanning, I think Dan Lanning is just going to be absolutely fantastic, and I think he's going to stick around at Oregon for a long time. So I know he hasn't won the big one yet. I know he hasn't, done it, and that's what the Raiola fans will say. And Raiola fans, you are totally right. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I think it's coming because I think Dan Lanning has got this team humming. They're doing a fantastic job, and, man, they got some bite in them. Got some bite in them. 69-3 over Oklahoma State. Dante Moore, 266 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And basically anybody who wanted to got a rushing touchdown in that game.
Yeah. Brian Myers, he makes a good point. I think we learned that if you talk trash to Lanning, he'll try to put as many points on you as possible. Ask Dion and Gundy.
Yes.
Yeah, Gundy should have been fired for his comments, not because they were out of line. They were not fireable. As
a sacrificial lamb, don't kill us, please.
Right.
We'll fire him.
we don't support what he said. Just take him. Just take him out back. Listen, I will say this as a qualifier. Oklahoma State, they looked like a group of 5 team. Athletically.
Oh, they're not good. Yeah,
they are terrible.
Yeah.
But and this is the caveat. That's my caveat. But Oregon is doing all the things you would like to see Michigan doing, right? With their culture, and that's not to say, I think we've seen Michigan culture at least last year, right? There was certainly excitement. But I think you're seeing Dan Lanning have that culture carry over, which is, I think, really encouraging. I give Dan Lanning 3 years to win a national. Like, he's going to win a national championship in 3 years. Like with Dante Moore, with DeCorian Moore, the way that their toughness, their nastiness, their teamship, it's really impressive to watch, and you can tell they have a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and when you look at Dan Lanning's resume and where he's been, it's exactly the type of resume you want coming into coaching. Now, I will say I did not give Sherrone Moore enough credit. He was at Louisville. He was a tight ends coach, and he was a GA there for about looks like 4 or 5 years. So, and then he went to Central Michigan as a tight end coach. But still, Dan Lanning, he went from Pitt as a GA, Arizona State as a GA, Sam Houston State as a defensive backs, Alabama as a GA, Memphis, Georgia, and then Oregon. Mm-hmm. Dude's been around the block, you know? I mean, that is something that helps you to go out there and make big hires. And then also, too, I mean, I've listened to Dan Lanning talk. The dude networks like crazy. The dude is out there talking to Dabo Sweeney, talking to anybody and everybody he possibly can, because he knows it's so important for him and his development and his coaching and everything. Honestly, I know people look down on Dan Lanning because of the Ohio State game last year. You're not going to get that from me at all. No, that was a freak game where you ran into an Ohio State team that I don't think was anybody was stopping from winning the national championship.
Yeah, that was buzzsaw. Yeah. Darth Ducky, I think he makes a good point. I care more to see how the Ducks handle the pressure and environment of the whiteout. Win or lose, I want to see how that team handles that. I do think like that's the game where I think both those teams, where we're really going to see, okay, where are these programs, both Oregon and Penn State, which I know we'll talk about Penn State later on. So
yeah, we got Michigan State up next for you.
Yeah, I think for me, Michigan State, Aidan Chiles is beginning to maximize his talent by limiting mistakes. Like, he's a big reason why they won that game in double overtime. But the pass defense needs to shore up. Otherwise, it may not matter. Like, they're going to play better passing teams on their schedule. They're going to play better receivers on their schedule. And if they can't stop the passing game, is it Langeman, the quarterback for
Lonergan.
Lonergan, who had close to 400 yards, big plays down the field. Like, they great job stopping the run, but they have got to shore up that defensive backfield. Otherwise, every week's going to be a shootout. And like, I think Aidan Chiles is growing. I'm just not sure that's how I want my success to win every week.
Well, yeah, and I mean, a guy who struggled with turnovers at the point that he did last year, and an offensive line that's still struggling as well, right? I mean, this was not an offensive line that was perfect by any means in this game. Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. They're gonna face a number of good passing offenses. They're gonna go at USC, at Nebraska. They're gonna have UCLA come to them, which I know UCLA is not great, obviously, but Nico Iamaleava is still there, and I think this UCLA team is still going to win a Big Ten game or two. That's going to be a tough one for them on the road. At Indiana, Michigan, you get a break with the passing offense there, but Bryce Underwood is still supremely talented. At Minnesota, Drake Lindsey looks really, really good. Penn State, I know Drew Aller's not, putting up the best numbers right now, but he's still good. At Iowa, and then Maryland at the end of the season. Yep. That's a full season of Malik Washington to get going. So, you're exactly right. These defensive backs from Michigan State need to get it together.
Yeah, and yes, Joshua, they play, I think, at SC.
Oh, did I say home? Sorry.
Well, let me just make sure that's true.
At USC. I got it pulled up here.
It's at USC. They are at USC. Yeah.
So, good call. Yeah, they're plus 12,500 right now to win the Big Ten. Obviously, that's not close, but says something about them that they're moving up a little bit there. So I like to see that.
Yeah. You got the Hoosiers.
The Hoosiers. That's like the Bears, but the Hoosiers. Listen, I think that obviously Indiana has not played the best talent in the world, but to me, the two best offensive lines in the Big Ten so far has been Oregon and Indiana. I know Indiana, they played Old Dominion and they played, Kennesaw State. but still. This is a great, great sign for Indiana, how well the offensive line has been playing. Drew Evans has been fantastic, hasn't allowed a single pressure all season long this year. They've been pretty good in run blocking as well, but the pass blocking, I think last year, obviously, you had the Ohio State game, and special teams obviously contributed to it as well, but you could have almost blamed that entire loss on that offensive line for the amount of pressure they were allowing on Curtis Rourke. I don't think that's going to happen this year. Between Fernando Mendoza's mobility, more experience there, the guys they went out to get, even if one guy turns into a swinging door during a game, I don't think that's going to happen. I think that they're going to scheme it up. They're going to do a good enough job, and they're going to be able to give help and do that kind of stuff to be able to make it so their offensive line doesn't have another game like that. And also, I think them going to Ohio State, them going to Notre Dame, having to go to a silent count and experiencing that more, it helps them. And I think that Curt Cignetti is only going to keep growing from it. And like I said, I love Curt Cignetti. When he's talking about the offensive line in the press conference, he's talking about there's a standard we hold to. There's not really a standard. I mean, he's been there for a year. There's not really a standard, but he still personally has a standard that he upholds the offensive line to, and they have to meet it. Otherwise, he's not satisfied. And I don't know if he ever is satisfied. The standard might just never be met.
I mean, have you seen the way he looks on the sideline?
Yeah.
He's never satisfied.
No, he is never satisfied. His little cap he had against Kennesaw State, I was like, Curt, I don't know, man. I don't. The cap's not doing it for me, okay? It didn't look nearly as intimidating when you looked mad when you were up 42-9.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's probably trying to have a little bit of fun. He's like, I can have fun now. I can't have fun when we're playing Illinois. Yeah. Maybe that's what I agree. I think the offensive line looked really good, and yeah, Mendoza still has things to work out, but like they're working out the kinks. Sean, our good friend, jokingly saying they will be tested versus Indiana State.
Watch out.
Yeah, it clearly a tune-up. He made sure to clarify that it was sarcasm, but I
don't want the Indiana fans coming after you, Sean.
Yeah, but I do think, again, there's a strategy for getting these weaker teams on your schedule early to kind of tune up a bit. And I do think for the way Indiana and their program builds, I think that is really good for them as they go into their game against Illinois. I can't wait for that game. Cannot wait for Indiana, Illinois. It's going to be so good.
Fantastic. All right, Zach, you got UCLA, but first, before we get to UCLA, do you want to let you know Big Jeff's Insights Thursday night. Come check it out. Me and Jeff talking through the biggest games in the Big Ten. Obviously, Zach and I will be doing previews on Tuesday night, getting you ready for that, and then Jeff will go through his picks, all his reasonings, all that stuff for the 5 biggest games in the Big Ten, the closest spreads every single week. Catch us on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern time, me and Big Jeff. All right, Zach, get to UCLA.
All right, simple, sweet. The Deshaun Foster era has to end. And the thing that maybe this is a bigger point, UCLA needs to treat itself like the program they are, which is not a bottom feeder Big Ten team.
They did fight back though, right?
They fought back, but I mean, they were getting blown out by UNLV.
Yeah.
And I know everybody will say, well, UNLV is a decent group of 5 team. You're UCLA. You should be at worst a lower range mid-tier team. This is atrocious.
Yeah.
Fix it.
I mean, I tweeted it out. UCLA is this year's Purdue.
Yeah.
Or last year's Purdue.
And I say that as someone, I want Deshaun Foster to succeed.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I think what he needs to do is he needs to go to a group of 5 school and learn how to coach. He was put in an impossible situation, but it just needs to end. And UCLA needs to actually think about, how do we start spending money like our crosstown rivals and make our program, put our program into the 21st century, because they're not there.
Well, he's got the same issue that Sherrone Moore does. I mean, 3 years as a GA at UCLA.
Yep.
1 year as the Texas Tech running back coach. Then he becomes a UCLA running back coach for 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Now he's a UCLA head coach.
Yeah. Well, And if you talk to, our friends at Bruin Source, Kevin and Zed, they lament the Chip Kelly era. And on the surface, if you look at it, Chip Kelly did good things for them in terms of wins and losses. But I don't think he necessarily left that program in a great place either. And the way he left wasn't
they're
great.
Recruiting well. I mean, like they're doing a good job recruiting. They've gone out and got some offensive linemen. Like they've got money and they're spending it on some guys, but
they hired too quick.
Michigan level or anything like that. But
they hired too quick, and then they're kind of in limbo.
Yeah, I mean, when Chip Kelly left though, I don't know if they had another option.
Yeah. Well, and I think that soured some UCLA fans too. Like the way he left, like we were very happy as Ohio State fans, but I think that was,
Yeah. Speaking of Ohio State, let's get to the Buckeyes, who currently have the best odds in the Big Ten on FanDuel to win the Big Ten right now at plus 185. Good news for the Buckeyes, and good news for them. They dominated Grambling this weekend, and it was not close at all. Julian Sain did not have a single throw hit the ground. Unfortunately, one of them did, land in the other team's hands, but still not a single throw that hit the ground. It looked like the offense obviously was much, much better. That's what's going to happen when you go from playing Texas to Grambling State. But overall for this Ohio State team, I hardly see a difference between talent between Ohio State last year and this year of the players. And I know that some people will say, well, Will Howard and, the experience of the defensive line, and that's my point. I don't think there's a difference in talent at all. If Ohio State doesn't win the Big Ten or make a deep run in the playoffs this year, it's going to be because of one of two things. Either experience, a boneheaded move is made, some kind of bad decision is made due to lack of experience that costs them a game, or coaching. The hard part is I don't know. I don't see coaching happening. I could see some kind of experience thing creeping in at some point possibly, but this Ohio State team is really, really good right now. Now there's other really, really good teams in the Big Ten as well, but they look like they're going to be a problem, and I'm really looking forward to seeing all this play out against Ohio, because Ohio did just beat West Virginia. Now West Virginia is nothing special, don't get me wrong, but it does give them a little bit more. Yeah, it's a Power 4 team, and it does give them a little bit more cachet coming to the shore. Shoot.
Yeah. To that point, Billy Tuesday, he says Ohio State minus 33.5 against Ohio seems high. I would agree. I think Ohio might give a little bit more fight than people realize. Sean makes a point. I really, pray against this. Injuries is another thing that I think could derail this team. Like, they've been pretty healthy so far.
Oh, yeah. I mean, injuries can derail any team, though, right?
Yeah. But I think to your point, I'll just make this very quickly. I want to see how the defensive line develops, because the defensive line, the running back room are the two rooms that I'm like, can you get to that next level? Because I don't think they're there yet. And my other question, Matt Patricia had one of the great debuts of any coach. But what happens as teams get more film on him and tendencies? Like, it's curious to me. We talked about Luke Altmyer earlier in the show, being able to diagnose the exotic blitz packages from Manny Diaz. Are we going to see that from him against Matt Patricia? I think that's going to be a fun matchup, but I think that's a big question for me.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right, Zach, you got Nebraska, the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, so I went back. I did a deep dive into some of their box scores the past couple years. Nebraska finally looks like they can control a football game from start to finish. And I will not take credit for that thought. Our good friend Justin Adams, who is does several podcasts for Nebraska, really, really good follow. Make sure you follow him on X. He had that thought, and as I thought about it and did more research, I was like, yeah, this is the first time that they've actually looked like legit from bell to bell, essentially, or whistle to whistle. And I know it's Akron, but they beat Cincinnati in a game that they would have lost a year ago. and they beat Akron in a way where it was like, yeah, Akron doesn't belong on the field with them. And I think that's the first time I've said that about both of those comments about this team in the Matt Rule era. So that encourages me.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they've done in the past. They've beaten teams, well before, but it's never been like this. Last year they beat UTEP 40-7. The year before that they beat Northern Illinois 35-11. Louisiana Tech 28-14. You go back North Dakota, they even only beat 38-17 in 2022. Right. Georgia Southern they lost to. Obviously that's a Scott Frost game, but this is a program that has gone through a complete overhaul under Matt Rule, and I always felt like this was coming, but I had the rule in my life of, I'm not going to trust Nebraska until they show me. They've shown me. They've shown me on the field at this point. Now they need to show me for the entire season, but they've shown me on the field at this point that I can confidently pick Nebraska in games. And Zack, there's going to be a game coming up when they play a team that was previously very good, and their fans think they're going to beat Nebraska, but I'm probably going to pick Nebraska to win that game.
Wouldn't happen to be this game that PSU Jim is referring to, would it?
It would be.
Nebraska hosting Michigan in 2 weeks should be interesting. Yep. That is a very fascinating game for both teams.
In the past, I would look at that game and say, I think Nebraska can win this game, but I'm not going to pick them because I just don't know.
Yep.
I'm going to pick Nebraska to win that game. Unless something happens this week and they just completely fall off. I don't see that happening. They're playing Houston Christian. Unless they score less than 18 points.
Listen, Houston Christian's coming, man. They're coming for everything. They're coming for their 3 points that they're going to score.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be CBS 3:30. It's going to be the game of the week and everything. I'm looking forward to it, and I think Nebraska's going to give Michigan every little bit they can handle, and I think Nebraska's going to come out with the win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. I think you have people agreeing with you in the chat. Sean says Nebraska wins that going away. Also, Sharon Moore will not be on the sideline for that game. So,
might be better for Michigan.
We should move on.
Okay. Listen, we talk about Lincoln Riley and his ability with quarterbacks and what he's done and everything else. It's coming back. It is coming back. Jaden Mayava, holy cow, he is fantastic. Did you know, Zack, I posted on Twitter today, did you know Jaden Mayava, 707 passing yards this season. That is 100 more yards than anybody else in the Big Ten. He has only dropped back to pass 43 times. That is the second fewest of any quarterback in the Big Ten. The only one with less is Julian Sayin, who has dropped back 39 times to pass. Dylan Raiola is next in passing yards. He has 607, but Jaden Mayava with 707. He is fantastic out there right now. I know that USC does this. I just pointed out in the power rankings episode. It's why I don't have them any higher than 5th in my power rankings. But this is what USC does. But I think I am so much more supremely confident in a USC team when I know that Lincoln Riley has a Heisman level player on his team. And I think Jaden Mayava is a Heisman level player, and I think he's going to be getting Heisman consideration at the end of the year. As long as USC wins enough games, right? If they're, 8-4, 7-5, it's not going to happen. But as long as they win enough games, so I'm more concerned about the defense. I'm not really concerned about the defense. I'm just saying the defense is the key here because it looks like this offense is really freaking good, and Jacoby Lane is just going to be able to snatch anything out of the sky one-handed. Holy cow, that catch that he had. And Kyle Lemon is a dude. Wayman Jordan, dude, you and I were singing the praises of Wayman Jordan before the season, and nobody else was. There were people saying that USC had the worst running back room in the Big Ten coming into the season. Bad take. This USC team, this USC offense, I guess I should say, is for real, and I think we're just going to continue to see it more and more as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think there's a lingering question about competition, but aside from that, I mean,
but you do what you're supposed to do, right? We just talked about it.
They're doing what they're supposed to do, which is a big deal. And
if we're going to give Minnesota credit, we got to give USC credit too, right?
Yep, Oh yeah, yeah, totally. How many passing yards do you think Maava will have against Michigan State?
That game is 2 weeks.
Yeah, because that's going to be not fun for Michigan State's back end.
Yeah, over 300 probably.
I might
Maybe
say
400.
I'd say it could get up to like 450 or 500.
Well, it depends on Chiles, right? If Chiles is shooting out, if he's in the shootout as well, and they're just going blow for blow, then yeah.
Yeah.
But if he's not, I can see them, slowing the game down. That Lincoln Riley would, as much as he can slow it down.
Yeah. This is just an elite comment by Darth Ducky. You can't rank USC when you have to rank 11 SEC teams.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
And Vanderbilt's not even ranked. National championship contender. I love how one of their biggest like Cinderella teams that they're like, oh, the SEC was so good, loses a USF, and they're like, guys, we got to put more SEC teams in the rankings. Somebody might get a win in the SEC, and it might not be a ranked win.
Yeah. Golly.
All right, you got Penn State, Zach.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Friday night before we?
Live Friday night. What games do we have this Friday night? We have Indiana, I think, is one. Is that the only one?
Indiana State.
Indiana and Indiana State is playing on Friday night, and then the other one that we have. Nope, that's it. So we'll be live Indiana State after that game. That game kicks off at 6:30. So I'll come on after that one. Maybe Zach or Jeff coming on too, but it'll be all Indiana during that one. So we'll have a fun time talking about the Hoosiers. And then there's other games that night as well. So I'm sure there'll be other games to pay attention to.
There is UCLA New Mexico plays at 10 on Friday night.
Oh, okay.
So we've almost written them out of the Big Ten at this point.
Oh, I was on top 25, not Big Ten. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll talk UCLA and New Mexico. I know everybody's just dying for that conversation.
Yeah. Golly, Minnesota Cal is 10:30 p.m. Why are you doing this to me, PJ?
That's not PJ's decision.
It's not, but
that's Cal's decision.
I'm still, man. First the fireworks. Don't pay your coaches, and now you have a 10:30 kick. Get out of here.
Putting too much on Minnesota. It's not their fault.
I know. I'm just going with the narrative, but right. I do think this is a right take. Best game of the weekend.
You think that's the best game in the Big Ten? Minnesota at Cal?
I think so.
USC-Purdue has some good juice to it. Josh Henson going back to USC.
But how close do you
was
think
at
that
UNLV
game?
with Barry Odom? There's some good juice there, but that's kind of like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
The game would really have juice if it was a Saturday night, or even better, a Friday night game.
Yeah.
Ross 8 at night.
Yeah.
But
Wisconsin, Alabama, Oregon, Northwestern is the big noon kickoff.
God. Yeah.
Big noon kickoff. One team is going to score 70. The other team, maybe so 3.
Yeah. Penn State is who I've got. I have concern for Andy Kotelnicki's offense and the funk that his offense tends to go in. Like, it's just become more routine. And I was willing to give Kotelnicki the benefit of the doubt a year ago. I don't know if he knows how to call a full game for Drew Aller and like an actual pro style offense. Like, I think he was great at Kansas because he had mobile quarterbacks and he had gadget plays and a lot of innovation there. But I feel like he gets into these funks and like they have talent on the offensive line, but I feel like both Singleton and Allen have not looked great running behind this line. Aller looked really off this past game. I didn't even love the way that Franklin kind of justified it at the end. So I'm no longer giving Andy Kotelnicki the benefit of the doubt. Like, I know it was just FIU. They could have just been sleepwalking, but I'm just not giving him the benefit of the doubt. He has something to prove to me.
Sorry, you ended there quicker than I thought you would. Yeah, so Penn State has played 30 total players on offense, not counting quarterbacks. When you look at offensive linemen and everything else, all that they've played. Ohio State has played 33. I don't buy the comment from James Franklin. Well, we're just playing too many guys.
Yeah.
We're just playing too many guys. It's a dumb comment. It's not true. And he's just trying to get them off his back. And this is where I wish coaches would just own up to it. It's similar to the problem I have with Kirk Ferentz. Not exactly the same, but similar. Just tell your fans it's not acceptable. Tell your fans this is not the standard. We're working for better than this. I don't understand why these coaches can't get up there. You gain so much more respect for doing that by going up there and saying, look, we won the game. We need to be happy about that. We got to here with the win. But we also need to make sure that we are beholding to the standard, which is to go out there and just destroy this team, right? This is an inferior opponent. We should not be playing our starters midway in the fourth quarter against FIU. It should not be happening. The offensive line should not be losing at the point of attack at the beginning of that game. It wasn't all game, but at the beginning of that game, they should not be losing at the point of attack. Drew Aller should be throwing for more than 200 yards and 2 touchdowns against FIU, unless you just go crazy on the ground, which can happen, but that should not be the standard for what it is. And the excuse, well, we're just playing too many guys. There are other teams out there that are playing just as many, if not more guys. Oregon has played 38 guys. They don't seem to have an issue, right? USC has played 31 guys. They don't seem to have an issue. Who else? Nebraska has played 42 guys. They don't seem to have an issue. Should I keep going? I mean, how many has Illinois played? Illinois has played 30, the same number.
Yeah.
And they played Duke this weekend, an actual game.
Yeah.
Like,
PSU Jim, I think, makes an interesting point. Aller owned up to it far better than Franklin did.
He did. Aller deserves credit. I remember seeing that, and I'm not giving enough credit. He did. I respect Drew Aller a lot.
Yeah, and people give Drew Aller a lot of crap, and we have our questions about him for sure. He's a good dude.
Oh,
and great. I want him to succeed, and I think there are real questions about his ability translating to the NFL. He's got the tools, right? But it's more up here, can he process? Can he do it against the best competition? But again, and this is my point, I don't know if I trust Kotelnicki. I'm ready to no longer give Kotelnicki the benefit of the doubt. And I think that more is not just with him, but with Franklin. Is Franklin still kind of micromanaging the offense? And I think that's where I'm landing.
There's a common denominator here, Zach.
Yep.
Head coaches who have excuses.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if I'm honest, it feels a little bit like Iowa and Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah. And to be fully transparent here, Ryan Day used to have excuses too.
Yeah. He doesn't anymore.
No, not anymore. I mean, maybe he will at some point, but I don't see it happening. I mean, but he's also won a lot of games in a row now, so you don't really need excuses. We'll see what happens when they lose. But, so we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Rooting for you, Penn State, though. I want this to be the year for Penn State. That's probably why I'm harder on them than I am some other teams, because this can be the year. They have the talent. They can do it. So, Minnesota. All right, I got the Gophers here. Zach, everyone underrated Minnesota and Drake Lindsay.
Yes.
That's what it is, including the fireworks. They underrated them as well. No, but in all seriousness, Cal is going to be the test to seal it in this one. Cal is a better football team than I thought they would be going into the season. I thought they were going to be one of the worst, if not the worst, Power 4 football teams out there. I do not think that is the case. They've played well so far this year. They have a very good freshman quarterback who I thought they were just starting because they were like, throw away the season, start the freshman, and let's see how the season goes. Nope, he's really good. and Minnesota's going to have their hands full on the road this weekend at Cal. Unfortunately, it's probably not a game that's going to get them ranked. They'll probably get some ranked votes if they get the win this weekend, but you play at 10:30 at night. You play on the road at a team that's not ranked. It's going to get overlooked by a lot of these AP poll voters. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You're going to have the reaction shows of week 3 starting about the same time that game is starting. But overall, I just think everybody underrated Minnesota, including myself. And I picked them to win 8 games.
Me too.
If that tells you where I think this team can go, because this is a balanced football team. And I think that is one of the greatest compliments you can give to a PJ Fleck team, is this is a balanced team. With Drake Lindsey being able to throw the ball around the way he has displayed so far, albeit not the greatest competition in the world, but still competently and consistently, those are things that you have to be able to do even against the worst opponents on your schedule. Cal will be the test, but this looks like a very balanced football team. I thought they would be super run heavy and Drake Lindsey would, do enough, but I think Drake Lindsey can be a game changer for this team, and I'm really excited to see how far Minnesota goes this season. My only regret is that I didn't pick them to win more than 8 games.
Yeah. Now, I will just say it was Northwestern State.
No, but we can see it, right? Like, you can see the guys in the field. You can see the culture. You can see the way they are. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I think it's similar like with Oregon and Oklahoma State, Ohio State and Grambling State, Nebraska and Akron. You have dudes who can play. And you see it with Drake Lindsey when he throws, when he maneuvers the pocket, when things break down. Those are the receivers, again, are underrated. Tracy and who's the other wide receiver I'm blanking on? They have another guy who's fast and one of the wide receivers for Minnesota. Javon Tracy, and there's another one that who's made a huge impact. At Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith. Thank you, Gopher site.
They also have Lemeke Bockington, who's been good this season.
Yeah, Brockington, Logan Loya. Like they've got explosiveness on the outside. Obviously, they have a good 1-2 punch in the backfield. Offensive line looks good, is looking good. Defense, again, we think Coy Parrish might be a top 2 safety in the league. I know people will argue Dylan Thieneman. Obviously, Caleb Downs is number 1. That's not a debate. But Coy Parrish might be number 2. And
Coy Parrish hasn't had to do all that much in offense. I thought they would have him more involved in the offense. Maybe they're saving something for Cal, but
yeah. But I agree very much. I think we've underrated Minnesota. I think they are going to spring an upset, I think, on somebody down the road that people are not expecting.
Coy Parrish has taken 11 snaps on offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many players Minnesota's played on offense?
34?
30. Same number as Penn State. Moving on. Northwestern. All right. Mine about Northwestern.
It's mine for Northwestern. You are in Minnesota.
I was Minnesota.
Stop stealing my things.
It's okay. I just want to rant about Northwestern. Sorry.
My main thought, it's unfortunate that they play Oregon this week. Because I think if they could have gotten UCLA and ULM, I think they could have built some momentum and some positive progress to maybe get to a place where they could be more competitive. I think it's unfortunate they got Tulane, who's a pretty good group of 5. They went down there. But unfortunately, they're running into a buzzsaw next week in Oregon. And I just think that's going to capsize a lot of their momentum.
Yeah. I mean, more than anything in that game, I'm just looking for Preston Stone to not throw the ball to the other team a bunch, right?
Yeah.
Are you with me, Zach? Zach Lujan's gone?
Yeah, he has to be. He has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't look pretty.
Yeah.
All right. We won't spend too much time on Northwestern. Wisconsin, they have plus 20,000 odds to win the Big Ten right now. I'm going to say it. I think Wisconsin is not in the same boat as last year. Danny O'Neal's better than Braden Locke. He throws the ball around. He's confident. He works the pocket. I think he's miles better than Braden Locke was last year. And I think as a Wisconsin fan, you are super glad that they went out and actually got a competent backup. Now, they got Danny O'Neal more so to be the guy after Billy Edwards. I don't think they were hoping that he would be the guy this season. Nothing against him, but it just wasn't their plan to make that happen. However, it has become the plan, and Danny O'Neal, last game, looked really good. That interception was not on him. I mean, I guess it was kind of on him, the way where he threw it to, but still, I mean, that ball hit the running back. He should be able to at least make that catch or knock it down, one of the two. But the ball got knocked up, and the defender picked it off. But I'm not going to put that one on Danny O'Neal. So they haven't played anybody yet. We'll see. But still, it's better than what you saw from Braden Locke last year.
Agreed.
I think this is a team that, I don't know if it's a bold prediction they're going to win 6-7 games anymore. I think it's very, very possible they win 6 games this season, and I think that would be a big step for Luke Fickell and his guys, especially with the last 2 seasons the way they've gone, and him trying to re-establish some of the Wisconsin way.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument that I think before the season, I thought there were maybe 6 or 7 winnable games on their schedule. I think it might be 8 or 9 now. Doesn't mean they're going to win them, but like I didn't give them much.
You're just saying win a bowl, like they can win. Like this Alabama game was winnable.
Yeah.
It's not
absolutely
likely, but it's winnable.
Yeah, but it's more than 1%. Like it's more than 5%. Like if the Alabama that showed up against Florida State shows up against Wisconsin, I would that would be a coin flip for me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you got Alabama, Maryland is winnable, at Michigan is winnable.
Yep.
After what we saw against Oklahoma, I know it's on the road against the ranked team, but still.
Yep.
The more so the coaching than anything else.
Yeah.
Iowa's winnable.
Mm-hmm.
Washington at home is winnable with Washington's history on the road last season. We'll see what they are on the road this season, but that's winnable.
Minnesota.
Then I think Minnesota, I mean, it's a rivalry game. Those are always winnable.
Yeah. And I think you can make a case for Ohio State and Illinois. It's always hard to play at Camp Randall. And so I don't love Ohio State going to Camp Randall a week after Illinois. So like I think that's
but I also don't love, like, I know I just sang Danny O'Neal's praises there. I also don't love Danny O'Neal going up against Matt Patricia defense. So,
no,
like, I think the teams that are going to find success against Ohio State's defense this season are going to be the teams with experienced quarterbacks who have played a lot of college football. You're looking at the Illinois, Luke Altmyer, even Fernando Mendoza, Indiana. I know they don't play this season, but if they were to play, Drew Aller, guys like that have played a lot of college football.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But I think there's more winnable games than we thought.
Yeah. So you heard it here first. Wisconsin, 6 wins. All right, Zack, Maryland. They their odds are plus 30,000. Seems low to me. I do not think they should have the same odds as Northwestern and UCLA. But I'm not making the odds. Go ahead, Zack.
Yeah. I mean I think it's negligible. I think Maryland, like Michigan, needs to realize that Malik Washington is a true freshman, and they need to give him better support from the run game. And it's a little different because Maryland hasn't lost yet, but they get Towson next week. That should be a win. But then they go to Camp Randall. And if they go in thinking, well, Malik Washington has to make a bunch of stuff happen, he's going to look bad against a defense that has gotten better. He's going to throw picks. He's going to take unnecessary sacks because he's a true freshman. And I think and this is maybe a call out to Mike Locksley to say, dude, Washington's a true freshman. Be smart, like Ryan Day was with Julian Sayin, who, by the way, he's not a true freshman. He was a red shirt. Utilize his gifts in a way that's going to simplify the game for him and find ways to give him support. he has not had a ton. Like, he's had to make plays for them to win ball games so far. And I don't love the position that they're putting their true freshman quarterback in.
I will say I love the way they utilized Dorian Fleming in that Northern Illinois game,
So
especially early on. It was much better. I mean, this is one of the things you get when you get a brand new coaching staff, right? Pep Hamilton, Ted Monachino, their first years at Maryland. I think it's Ted Monachino's first, if not first. It's been a while since he's been a defensive coordinator. What was he defensive coordinator with the Colts in like 2015 or something like that? So it's been a while for him. But Dorian Fleming, Ratrell Perry has been fantastic in blocking this season. Again, they've not played anybody good, but still, zero pressures given up. In fact, their Ali Ba and Michael Hershey, their starting guard and starting center, have not given up a single pressure yet either. So I'm totally with you on the run blocking and giving support in the running game and stuff like that. But I do appreciate that Mike Locksley has done a good job with the pass protection. And I do think we need to give credit there as well.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
All right, Purdue. Oh, boy. I'm going to say for Purdue, they look like a Power 4 team. That's what I'm going to say. They look like a Power 4 team. Now,
that's a fair
Southern
take.
Illinois did not give me a ton of confidence. They were in that game too long, in my opinion, an FCS school. But with their physicality, their discipline, they're well-coached. This is a well-coached team that I do think is going to win multiple games in the Big Ten this season. I'm not picking them to go 6-6 and make a bowl game or anything like that, but I do think they're going to pop up on some teams this year and win at least 2 Big Ten games. And I think that some teams are going to overlook them. I think they could possibly get some wins at home, with Ross Aid and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to beat USC this weekend or anything, but I do think that at some point this season, Purdue is going to make that happen. And I think Purdue made a good hire in Barry Odom. Do I think he's Jeff Brom? No, but I think he is the right step they need toward reviving this program and making it a respectable Big Ten program.
Yes.
So.
Agreed.
All right. You got Washington, Zack.
Yeah. The thing I've learned is nothing.
Oh, come on.
No. We knew about Jonah Coleman. We knew Devon Williams was going to be a stud. We knew their wide receivers are going to be really, really good. We're not going to really learn anything about this team till they play Washington State. So they, had a little bit of a tussle with Colorado State. First game. UC Davis, they just obliterated. It's UC Davis. They have a bye next week. Does Jed Fish have his team ready to go? Do they play disciplined? And do they actually maximize their skill players to win that football game? Because they should beat Washington State. But that's the game we're going to really learn something. So I'm not trying to be mean and say we haven't learned anything, but the question that really matters of, has Jed Fish helped this team become more disciplined to win the games that they should? Like, I think that's the big question, and we cannot tell that right now from Colorado State and UC Davis.
Okay. I got one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
He leads the country in rushing touchdowns. He has nearly 300 yards on the ground. He has the best PFF run score in the nation.
We know about Jonah Coleman.
We knew Jonah Coleman was good. Neither of us ranked him as the best running back in the Big Ten. Zack, until Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen show me, I mean, yes, they have shown me, but as the lead guy, Jonah Coleman right now, best running back in the nation. Not just the Big Ten.
I reserve the right.
He is running like the best running back in the nation, in my opinion. I've watched some other teams. I've obviously not watched every single team out there, but I've watched other teams. I'm trying to take the top 25 seriously that we're doing this season, so I'm trying to watch other teams and stuff like that. There is nobody that runs with more aggression. There is nobody that runs with more determination. There is nobody that runs like Jonah Coleman has been running this season. I think it's fantastic for Devon Williams. I think it's fantastic for this Washington team. You're right. We got to see it against Washington State. But right now, through 2 weeks, Jonah Coleman is the best running back in the nation, in my opinion.
I think that's a fair take. I don't know if that's something. I guess you can say we learned it, but I don't know. I thought he was a top tier running back already, but I see your point. I see your point.
But I did not think he was gonna in 2 weeks of the season be the best running back in the nation.
Okay, to be fair, he had 5 touchdowns against UC Davis.
Still, it's 2 more touchdowns than anybody else.
You could also make the argument that the reason he's getting all the touchdowns is because they don't have the depth to give it to other people. But I'm not gonna go there.
Well, no, Muhammad's a good.
Yeah, he is good. He is good. I do think Jonah Coleman has separated.
Adam Washington has 2 rushing touchdowns on the season. He has an 80.8 running grade. I agree with you. Jonah Coleman is getting a lot of run right now. But I'm just saying, through 2 weeks, I don't think he'll finish as the best running back in the nation. That's not a slight to him or anything like that. But I just think credit where credit is due. Right now, he looks like the best running back in the nation, in my opinion. And I want to give him his flowers for that. Because
that's fair.
I knew Jonah Coleman would be really, really good. I did not think he would be. I did not know. I shouldn't say I did not think. I did not know he would be the best.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Thanks, Darth. Thanks for.
Don't you mean you quack when we talk about Washington?
It's a duck yawn.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Where's Sean at? We got one more. Where's Sean? This one's for you, Sean. Zach got the Rutgers. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What have I learned about Rutgers? I've learned that Rutgers this season will go as far as Athan Kaliakmanis and their wide receivers take them.
Mm-hmm.
This was the very first team I thought of when I thought of doing this, so I gave them to myself. I love that Greg Schiano embraced everything more, and I think that he's going to continue doing it this season. And I think that this team is going to go as far as Athan Kaliakmanis and the wide receivers take them. I do think that's a little scary because I do not necessarily believe in Athan Kaliakmanis a ton, but he's been really good in 2 games so far this season. The only downfall with their offense in the second half is they got away from Athan Kaliakmanis and their wide receivers. But when they go to them, they produce. So we'll see what they do in Big Ten play. It's going to be a big thing for them. Secondaries in the Big Ten right now are better than what they used to be, so I don't think it's as easy to make those things happen. But overall, Athan Kaliakmanis, DT Sheffield, those dudes, Ian Strong, they're really good. And I think Rutgers is gonna be as good as they can go. So
yeah, I just want to point out that I have been calling one of the most underrated units in the country being the Rutgers wide receivers. Just saying that I've been all over that.
Yes.
Ian Strong's great, but I mean, they have a lot of good receivers. Ian Strong had 9 catches, 116 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Miami. Again, inferior competition, but like
it's not always been inferior competition for Rutgers, right? Like it's the same thing we said about Indiana last year.
Yeah.
Like, let's give these guys some flowers because they got better players when it's not always been they've had better players than Mac's teams.
Yeah. Well, and I think especially Rutgers' explosiveness has not always been there. Like they've not had explosive players on the outside. By the way, Ian Strong has 2 consecutive 100-yard receiving games to start the season. So like good for them. The other thing I'll just point out, the Ohio win looks so much better after Ohio beat West Virginia. And again, I know that West Virginia is not great, but like Ohio beat a Power 5 team, and the Power 5 team they beat was not Rutgers, it was West Virginia. So like
Navarro, man.
Yeah, Parker Navarro's good. That's going to be I'm excited to see that matchup against Ohio State, but I like it's interesting because I think Schiano will get the defense more in shape as the season goes on. But I agree. I think Kaliakmanis and the receivers, they've got good running backs too, but I think the explosiveness on the outside, that's what might separate them to get an extra win or 2 that we weren't expecting.
do you know who leads the Big Ten right now? 2 players leads the Big Ten right now in contested catches.
I'm going to guess Ian Strong and KJ Duff.
Not KJ Duff, no.
Okay.
Ian Strong, and then there's another team with really good wide receivers.
Is it Carnell Tate?
It is Carnell Tate. Great guess. Yeah. Ian Strong and Carnell Tate both have 4 contested catches, and Ian Strong actually has a better PFF grade than Carnell Tate. Now, PFF grades are not the end-all, be-all, okay? It's not everything, but it is interesting when that happens. It means they're executing at a very high level. So, and KJ Duff was the other one that I needed to mention with Rutgers. Sorry, they got 3 good guys there. So
yeah, but we have not talked about it. We really do need to talk about Carnell Tate at some point, because that dude.
8 targets, 7 receptions, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 for 4 in contested catches and contested targets. He's just not getting the production because they didn't throw it very much the first game, and
they played a half on.
Yeah, they basically played a half against Grambling. Yeah. And like I said, Julian Saint has the least amount of dropbacks of any quarterback in the Big Ten so far. So,
Yep.
So yeah, but let's see who most yards after the catch. You want to take a guess on that? Jeremiah Smith is 3.
And most yards after the catch. Is it Denzel Boston?
No, he is not high up
listed.
There. He is 18th with 44. Okay. There are 2 guys that have over 100.
Is DeCorian Moore one of them?
No.
Oh.
But you are thinking West Coast. I like that.
Lemon? Makai
Lemon. 151 yards after the catch.
That's
and
a
then
lot.
Second is Hank Betty.
Hey!
Phillips dude there. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, we've basically made this into 2 episodes. We were just going to do 1 episode tonight, but we went about an hour and a half. So we basically made 2 episodes in 1 here. Just a lot to get to from week 1. We'll do much more like actual game breakdowns and everything once we get into conference play, because it's just there's so many games right now. It's hard to actually break those down and stuff. So we'll do that here on Sunday night, and you guys will get those podcasts on Monday and Tuesday once the conference play stuff starts hitting more, which it will. We'll start hitting this week. We got USC, Purdue, Oregon, and Northwestern. So going to be fun to see those ones there. I don't think either Northwestern or Purdue stands a chance. I don't mean to be disrespectful to either of those 2 teams, but I think most people think that. But I am just intrigued to see some of the storylines with the Purdue and USC, and then also I'm just intrigued to see what Oregon looks like on the road and stuff like that.
Yep.
So,
it'll be good.
All right, Zach. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, not at all. This is great.
All right. Well, we appreciate all of you listening, all of you watching. We will be back on Tuesday morning. We'll have a video that comes out with our top 25 and our college football playoff predictions. Also come out on podcast. And then Tuesday night, 9 p.m., you can catch me and Zach here. We'll be previewing Big Ten games for the week. And then me and Big Jeff on Thursday night, 9 p.m., talking the 5 closest spreads in the Big Ten. Really appreciate you watching. Really appreciate you being here. Here's Paul Feinbaum and his tracker, and then we're out of here.